FC Barcelona are going to be visiting Borussia Dortmund on Wednesday night for a Champions League match, and Barcelona's biggest job is to remain in the top 5 within this table here. Barcelona for sure have to be at the top of their game. Borussia Dortmund is not going to be an easy game for us to get through, and everybody has to show up, from Lamine Yamal to Raphinha to Lewandowski to Dani Olmo to Pedri to Casado to Balde, Koundé, Inigo Martinez, Peña, and Jules Koundé. Everybody has to be there and be there 100% ready. Now, before we go into greater detail about this match, I first want to give off some updates in regards to Ronald Araujo, because Araujo is actually going to be in this game, but not to play, not to be in the squad list, but to travel with the squad. It says here, according to Javi Miguel, that everything is set for Araujo to be included in the squad for Wednesday's match against Borussia Dortmund, even though he has not been given the full medical clearance. His inclusion in the squad will mainly be symbolic, as coach Hansi Flick doesn't want him to miss any group training sessions. If everything goes smoothly, Araujo's actual return is planned for Sunday's match against Leganés. So, like I've said, yes, he is going to be in the squad list, but he's not really going to be there. He's just going to be there only because Hansi Flick wants him to be with the players and to continue to train consistently, so he can be 100% ready for the next match against Leganés. And I believe that if Araujo can show up within the next 9 to 10 days at 90%, that is the best thing that could happen to FC Barcelona, because his emergence is coming just on time. If you look at who has played the most minutes at Barcelona so far, Inigo Martinez is in first and Kobarsi is in third place. Raphinha is in second place, but going back to Inigo Martinez and Kobarsi, they have played the most out of most Barcelona players this season, because we have had no other reliable center backs within this squad. Yes, we had Eric Garcia, but he got injured, and sometimes when he does play, he was not cutting it. Christensen has not been available, and so the only players that we have been relying upon is Inigo Martinez and Kobarsi. They have played a lot, and I feel like they are eventually, if not they are there already, they're going to be experiencing fatigue, and that is not good. So the fact that Araujo is finally coming, for sure Araujo is going to be having those chances to either come in for Inigo Martinez or Kobarsi. So it's huge news. I just think that for now, Inigo Martinez and Kobarsi have to just suck it up for the next match against Dortmund, and then they will finally get some rest. Now, looking back between Barcelona and Dortmund, the last time these two teams did face was back in 2019. It was around the time I just started this YouTube channel. Barcelona tied against Dortmund in the first leg on September 17th, 2019, 0-0, and then in the next game, which was the second leg against Dortmund within the group stages, Barcelona won 3-1 at their home, with Griezmann, Messi, and Suarez scoring those goals, and Sancho also scoring a goal on that night. And man, it has been quite a few years. This team that Dortmund is going to be facing, like the Barcelona team that they will be facing, it is not the Barcelona that we all saw back in 2019. This team is completely different. Messi is gone, Suarez is gone, and Griezmann is gone. And on that night, those three players were able to get the job done, and hopefully with the squad that we have today with Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal, and Raphinha, they can do the exact same thing with what we saw 5 years ago. So Dortmund is clearly one of the best performing teams in the Champions League. There's a reason why they are in 4th place and Barcelona is in 3rd place, with Inter Milan in 2nd and Liverpool in 1st place. Dortmund have 4 wins and 1 loss, the exact same record to FC Barcelona. The only reason why Dortmund is just below Barcelona is because of the goal difference, and what really did kill them was in the loss against Real Madrid, where they lost 5-2. It was a huge blow for them, but ever since then, Dortmund have been very dominant. Looking at Dortmund's top 2 scorers in the Champions League, one of them is Jamie Gittens, who has 4 goals, and then they also do have Guirassy, who has 4 goals, and 2 of them were penalties. So those are going to be the 2 players that Barcelona have to look out for. Yes, they also do have another player like Adeyemi, but as of now, we do not even know if Adeyemi is going to be featured in the squad. He has been injured for the past few weeks, and so if Adeyemi is there or not, we'll see. If he's there, it's going to be even more danger for Barcelona, because Adeyemi has been phenomenal in the Champions League. He currently does have 3 goals in 2 matches that he has played in the Champions League, and keep in mind that he scored those 3 goals in 1 game. It was a hat-trick, but overall, he has been performing amazingly well. He's one of the most dangerous players in the Champions League, right? He does average 2 goals per 90 minutes. When it comes to shots on target per 90, he averages 3.3. So if, right, it's a big if Adeyemi is there, he's also going to be another player we have to look out for on the field, and it's going to make Alejandro Balde's time against Dortmund even harder. Also, looking at Dortmund's form in the Champions League overall, they are one of the best goal scoring teams. They average 3.2 goals per 90 minutes. Barcelona's in 1st place with 3.6, and then we do have Man City at 2.6. In terms of goals conceded per match, Dortmund is not one of the best. They are in 10th place with 1.2 goals conceded per match. Now, these numbers are not that bad. We have to keep in mind that, just because they are in 10th place, it does not mean that they are one of the worst, because we are talking about a Champions League format that contains 36 teams. And so for Dortmund to be in the top 10 and be placed in 10th when it comes to goals conceded per match, it's still not that bad. But there are so many other teams that have better records, like Inter Milan and Liverpool. I would also say that Dortmund is not really that great in successful tackles per match. They do average 10 tackles per 90 minutes, and that ranks them in 19th place. And so I believe that Barcelona can find an easy time going through Dortmund's midfield. I believe that we have to be very careful on how Dortmund do counter-attack us. us because that is where they can get very dangerous. If we even look at their clearances per match, it's also really low. They are ranked in 27th place. The only thing that we do know is that Dortmund for sure will face against us being great on the ball. Like for sure. They know how to score. They know how to be dangerous. They have great goal scorers. If we also look at the stat here in terms of accurate passes per 90 minutes, they are one of the best. Like we're talking about Dortmund being compared to Man City and Bayern Munich in terms of pass accuracy. Barcelona is not even in the top 4, but Dortmund is. So players like Casado, Pedri, Dani Olmo are going to have to fight hard to win the ball back. But now moving back to FC Barcelona, Barcelona's form is once again 4 wins and 1 loss. We have recorded 1 loss in the first game against Monaco, which was 2-1. Very disappointing. I believe that the reason why we lost against Monaco 2-1 is because we had to rotate and we rotated at the wrong time. And then ever since then, Barcelona have been very successful, having a 5-0 win against Young Boys, a 4-1 win against Bayern Munich, a 2-5 win over Red Star, and a 3-0 win against Brest. So that basically means that ever since the Monaco game, post the Monaco game, we have scored 17 goals and only allowed 3 total goals. And so I really do think that this game has to be a game to win. We have to win. We have to make this a 2-0 win or a 3-0 win. It's going to be good for our morale and our enthusiasm to continue down this Champions League season, to do well, because the next 2 matches after Dortmund is also going to be very difficult. We have Benfica away, and then in the last match, it will be against Atalanta at our own home. Yes, it's going to be at our home, but the thing is though, Atalanta is a very strong team that has not lost yet in the Champions League. They are unbeatable. As a matter of fact, Atalanta has not lost a game since September 24th when they lost against Como 3-2. Since then, Atalanta have been on a winning streak. Now moving to the players who I believe must start against Dortmund. Like you can rotate Koundé, you can rotate Kubarsi, you can rotate Pedri or Casado. The 2 players that you cannot rotate and not rest in this match has to be Raphinha and Lamine Yamal, because I just think that Raphinha is a Champions League winner. Like Raphinha may not be the most consistent player in the league, even though he's still doing very well, one of the top goal scorers and one of the top assist players, but in the Champions League, you can bet on Raphinha. Like Raphinha, like him performing this well right now in this season under Hansi, it's nothing new. Like I don't know if you guys remember, but when Barcelona were facing against PSG last season during those 2 legs, the one player that showed up out of all players was only Raphinha. So he has a thing for the Champions League, and I need him to be there against Dortmund. There is no reason for him to be rotated. Same thing for Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal is reaching a whole other different level. I don't know if you guys saw him against Betis. This guy was freaking amazing. I believe that he is reaching a level where it is safe to say that he can take down 2 to 3 players with ease. The only thing Lamine Yamal is missing is the final ball. Once he perfects that, because I think that he's like 80% there, but once he perfects that, Lamine Yamal is going to be an undisputed starter and unstoppable. And so we need him. I mean, like Barcelona, when they did not have Lamine Yamal because of the injury, Barcelona did not look the same. So we need the player. And with Dortmund potentially maybe defending well against us, because you know how these teams like to feel inspired when they face against a top team like Barcelona, City, or Bayern, or Madrid. Like you never know. Dortmund might come in and say, we're going to defend for our lives and in front of our own fans, because those fans that they have at Dortmund, it is their 12th player. It is. Like when we face Dortmund, it will be 11 versus 12, because those fans are crazy. They support the hell out of that defensive line. I have seen what they do in every game, and Dortmund just have the full support, and Barcelona have to be very concentrated and focused to make sure no mistake is being taken on the pitch. Now, luckily for us, now that we have a coach named Hansi Flick, right? Hansi Flick did face Borussia Dortmund multiple times when he was the coach of Bayern Munich. He has never lost against Dortmund during his coaching career. He has coached in 5 matches, had 5 wins, has scored 15 goals, and only conceded 6 goals. So hopefully he continues down this streak, right? Hopefully adding a 6th win, but with FC Barcelona, which is now going to lead me towards the most important part. What is going to be our predicted starting 11? And so I'm going to assume that it's going to be almost the exact same thing that we saw against Real Betis. It's going to be Peña in goal, Jules Koundé on the right back position, Kubarsi, Inigo Martinez, center back duo, Alejandro Balde on the left back position. Our double pivot is going to be Pedri and Casado. I don't believe that it is going to be Gavi or anybody else or Frankie de Jong. Like, I don't even think Frankie's going to go into the central attacking midfield role, which is, I believe, what Hansi Flick is trying to do. I don't think that any of those 2 players will feature in the 11, maybe play later in the game, but for sure, Pedri and Casado, at the moment, they are untouchable. When you give Pedri the support and the correct environment, he will do the rest of the work for you. So Pedri and Casado have to be there. As for our attacking 4, it is Lamine Yamal on the right wing position, Dani Olmo as the central attacking midfielder, Raphinha on the left wing, and Lewandowski up top. Let me know in the comment sections down below, what do you think is going to be Barcelona's starting 11 against Borussia Dortmund on Wednesday night, and would you change anything? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.